Hello. Hello. Today we are joined by Mr. Hari Narendra, Managing Director of Doctor Overseas, with over 15 years of experience and guided more than 8,000 plus students towards selecting right universities for their MBBS abroad. Under his leadership, students have received guidance about selecting universities, selecting countries, documentation, visa process, complete a streamlining of from the counseling till the visa process, and also landing into the respective universities in different countries. In this conversation, we will unpack the realities, opportunities, myths, and risks around studying medicine overseas. So, before getting into the real interview, so there is one fact that for every one MBBS seat in India, there are 30 students who are aspiring to get that seat. Hari sir, welcome to the show.
Hi, sir. Thank you.
So today I'll be asking you on MBBS related questions, whether to study in India or to go abroad, why, how, all those complete process. I request you to share a honest answers for each and every question that I'm going to ask you.
Sure, sir.
So basically, why students choose MBBS?
See, as we know from the grounds of India, the parents at starting they choose engineering or doctor.
Yeah.
And as you know, this is a common point in India. Most of the students from their school days they started to dream to become a doctor, and this is one of the good profession in India as well as abroad. And as we know, there is a huge gap of doctors, which are I mean
Shortage of doctors.
yeah, shortage of doctors over here. So globally, I think most of the students and parents they dream to become a doctor. And as we know, we have almost 25 lakhs NEET aspirants every year writing the NEET examinations. And as they dream to become a doctor, surely they'll go ahead with it.
Okay. So is it worth studying MBBS in India or should they go abroad?
So actually, when it comes to India, you have very good clinical exposure. When you compare to other countries, India is one of the best country which is giving the very good clinical exposure. But when it comes to abroad, you have very good infrastructure and globalized education over there. And I feel both are good. When it comes to India, very good clinical exposure. And I think abroad education, if the students are choosing, then they can go ahead and become a globalized doctor. And most of the Indian students, they stuck over here. They do their PG NEET here, they do their MS or MD, and they stuck over here itself. But when the students travel abroad, they get globalized exposure and they travel worldwide and they'll become they'll get in a globalized license. So there are countries like US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. If the students are completing their MS or MD over there and getting their license, they'll become an international doctors, and this license will be valid worldwide. I think MBBS abroad is the best choice for the students if they're choosing their MBBS career.
So is it worth to pay a management fees in case if they don't get a admission through NEET? Is it worth paying management fee and studying here or going abroad?
See, it depends on the students choosing their career path. If the students are very much confident about their career path in India, they can go ahead with the management fees over here. So what happens is most of the middle class students they take almost 60 lakhs to 1 year loan over here. I think this is almost 6 years course, 6 years, and their career to start it may take 10 years. I think within 5 to 6 years the loan repay back will start. I
Correct.
think to get once they complete their MBBS, being in a junior doctor, they get only 25 to 30,000 salary per month. I think that will be very difficult for the students to repay
Repay
it
the
back.
loan.
It's better if you're not getting government seats in India. It's better instead of paying huge amount like 1.5 C a year. So within 20 to 30 lakhs, you can just complete your total MBBS course in abroad. I suggest the students if they get the government seats in India, well and good. If not, please choose government universities in abroad.
Okay. And that is also a kind of a reason for the cost of medical expenses are very high in India. Because when a doctor spends 2 crores in India for their education, obviously they have to charge more.
Yeah, yes.
So every year, how many students they go abroad for MBBS?
See, gradually every year the students traveling abroad are increasing. When it comes to last 4 5 years, there were around 15 to 10 to 15,000 students who were traveling, and from 2023 to 26, right? We are expecting around 20 to 25,000, and upcoming year we are expecting 30,000 plus students traveling abroad.
Oh, super. It's almost like growing at a pace of 15 to 20%.
Yes, yes.
So, which are the countries currently are most preferred by students for their MBBS abroad?
See, as of now, the trend is like Russia, Georgia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan. This countries maximum students they're choosing as you get government universities, and you can just compute your total course from 20 to 30 lakhs.
Oh, including living
Yeah,
expenses.
including living expenses.
Oh, nice. So, for example, out of all, which one is your favorite country that you suggest for a student to go abroad, for their MBBS abroad?
See, when it comes to my favorite, see, it depends on the student's budget too. See, if your budget is around 60 lakhs plus, 50 to 60 lakhs plus, I suggest students to go ahead with the Nepal. I think what the plus point going with the Nepal is, students after completing their MBBS in Nepal, they don't need to come back to India and give one more year internship over here.
Oh,
But when it
okay.
comes to Georgia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, you need to give one more year internship when you're back to India.
Okay.
But when your budget is below 30 lakhs,
Mhm.
better choose Russia. This is one of the best and favorite destination. And 70% of the students from India, they travel Russia compared to other countries.
Is it safe?
Yeah, it's one of the safe and secure country. And when you see, we till date, I have not seen any issues from the students in Russia, and there is no any racisms. Yeah, there is very good relation bondage between India and Russia.
Yeah.
I think Russia is one of the best country for the Indian students.
So, what are the, for example, you explained about Central Asian countries. So, what about this English-speaking countries like UK or Australia or Malaysia? Why students don't choose these destinations as their study abroad for their MBBS?
See, when it comes to US, UK, Canada, Australia, the cost of the MBBS course is too huge over there. I mean, too high. Sorry, you need at least 2 to 2.5 year minimum package to complete
They
your
can study
MBBS.
here only.
Instead of paying huge amount over there, they can complete their MBBS in India by 1.5 year.
Correct.
And what I suggest the students in India and abroad, instead of choosing USA, UK, Australia for MBBS, better choose for your PG course. I think if you're completing your PG course over there, you'll be getting an international license and you'll become an international doctor.
So, does these countries generally follow NMC guidelines?
Yeah, sure. Most of the countries follow the NMC guidelines, and students should make sure. And few countries, like Philippines, is not following the NMC guidelines. And till date, most of the consultancies are suggesting these countries. And parents and students should be very careful before choosing a country or a university, so that it should follow NMC guidelines.
So, the next question is similar to that, the guidelines. So, how should a student compare countries before choosing the right one?
See, choosing a country depends on their career. As I said, a few students will be planning to go ahead with USMLE. Like, say, UMS, if he is clearing USMLE, you can just get MS or MD seats in USA.
US.
If he's clearing this PLAB, and you can just get MS seats in MS or MD, PG seats in UK, and Australian Medical Council examinations. So, if the student is planning to go ahead with to become a globalized doctor, I suggest you can just go ahead with a Georgia. So Georgia is one of the best option if he's going for an to becoming globalized doctor. And when it comes to students, if they wanna with a low package, if they wanna study and they wanna complete their course in particular country and come back to India, I feel Russia and Uzbekistan is one of the best option for the students.
So, based on the what you call based on the budget, they have to choose their country,
Yeah, based on their budget and the career path.
future
Future
plans.
path. If they want to come back to India and if they want to practice back in India, see what happens when he's studying in Russia. So he'll be getting license in Russia or the Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, wherever he is,
Yeah,
and
USSR.
USSR. So again, he'll be back to India. He'll be getting license here. You will be licensed doctor in both the countries.
Okay.
So when it comes to USMLE FLAB, as I said, so if he's getting license over there after his PG course, he'll be globalized doctor worldwide. Wherever he want, he can just go and practice. So choosing a country depends on his career plans.
What kind of universities should students choose abroad for MBBS? What are the guidelines that they should follow? What they should check in a university before choosing?
See, choosing the university is an, crucial part for a student. What happens when a university, make sure the student should make sure first you need to note that this particular university is following the NMC guidelines or not. The first point you need to see.
Okay.
Second thing is you need to cross check it has all the national or international recognitions are very important. If the university is following the NMC guidelines and if it is not recognized internationally, it will be difficult for its career path. So recognitions are very important. The third thing is you need to know how many students are passed out from the university, because every year a bunch of students will be coming out of the university and they'll be clearing their FMG examination. Even that they need to cross check, so that if the bunch of students are passing out from the university, there is no need to cross check regarding the recognitions of the university. If it is recognized, then only you'll be eligible to write FMG examinations or next examinations in back in India. Next thing is you need to cross check how many Indian students are available over there. So when the students travel abroad, the main problem they face is homesickness. So if they should not face this particular homesickness, I feel let the more Indian students will be in and around him, so that he won't feel any homesickness over there. The next point is students should know about the clinical exposure of the students, because being a medical aspirant, if you want to become the best doctor, clinical exposure is very important. If the university has very good clinical exposure, surely you'll be getting very good knowledge about theory and clinical both, so that it will be easy for him to clear his FMG examinations and to become an very good,
Doctor.
excellent doctor.
Is there any other recognition apart from WHO or NMC?
See what happens. Most of the consultancies in India, they suggest the universities that this particular university is recognized by WHO and NMC. I suggest the students and parents not only WHO and NMC. See, that university should have international recognition like WDOMS, World Director of Medical School, and ECFMG FIMER. These are the main international recognition university should have. And recently, NMC has also given guidelines that if the university is not recognized under WDOMS, you won't be eligible to write FMG examinations in India. Most of the students doesn't know, and this consultancy suggests the students to join the university and take admissions in a university where WDOMS is not recognized. So I suggest the students go through it. See, don't Google the things. If you Google this particular university is recognized in WDOMS, it shows yes, it is recognized. What happens? This Google search, as per like if anyone is updating the website by searching that it shows. See, I suggest a student go to WDOMS official website, search country, university. There you'll get an proper
Proper list.
details. So
Correct.
better, it's a student and parents should do homework before choosing an
Yeah,
university.
nowadays students are dependent on not a lot of AI tools
Yeah.
than real websites.
Yes, yes. It's better not to use ChatGPT or Google. Better
Yeah.
to go with official websites to cross check.
Okay, so generally these information students can evaluate through the website and everything. How parents should get the confidence? How parents should evaluate
See,
in a parent's perspective?
see, when it comes to parents, see, we have given counseling for thousands of students and parents over here. And our parents, normally, most of the parents from the rural areas, they are not educated and they trust the
Consulting.
consultancies very blindly. There was one issue last year. What happened is they were choosing Georgia. I informed the parent is from Gulbarga, Samir is an farmer. So they informed that uh, I informed them like in Georgia. So license examinations will be given in Georgian language, but he never accepted. See, he listened to me, then went back to other consultant. He spoke to that consultant. See, I was shocked that that consultant gave him an answer that, "Don't worry, sir. I'll make sure the license examinations will be given in Kannada." So, do you think in Georgia they give a license exam? And he agreed. He was shouting at our employees,
Counselors.
counselors, and that no, no, no. My sir has spoken to that university. That university is giving license examinations in Kannada. I mean, this way, I suggest
They, sh-
consultants is not to wrongly guide the
they
parents.
should not spoil a life of
Yeah.
a kid
So
for a sake of small money.
yes. See, when there should be ethics in whatever the business you do, and when
Absolutely.
it comes to the students' life, they should not play over here. And as you asked, parents, right? Uh, they need to cross check. Even they should be knowledgeable. They should ask their neighbors, their friends, and they need to cross check with the students who has already traveled over there. They need to take their contact numbers. They need to go cross check, is this university is recognized or not. See, these are the basic cross checks they need to cross check with the uh, students who are studying over there. And as students, they are knowledgeable, and everyone use their smartphones, and you have a lot of, as I informed you, let them go to the particular websites and cross check regarding the recognitions, and then they can just select the university.
So most of it, you mentioned talking to seniors, students, and all. So recently, I have seen so many students who are going and studying abroad for their MBBS. After their second year or third year, they become consultants. So what do you say for this? Because that will become a kind of a parent's dream is spoiled, their dream is spoiled. So what do you suggest for a parent for these kind of kids?
See, what happens is, to really frankly, in the age of 20 to 25, their mind will be fluctuating a lot. And in this age, if they're seeing the small amount in their hand, they feel that is something great they are doing. And as you know, when it comes to MBBS in abroad, so universities doesn't allow them for the part-time jobs. And when it comes to, we have many UG and PG courses, they do allow like weekly 12 hours, 15 hours, or 20 hours, whatever thing. But MBBS, it's very strict. And when it comes to Russia, the universities are very strict on it. If university finds a students doing all these particular jobs, he'll be rusticated and his career is gone. So what I suggest the students, see, first concentrate on your education, because your parents have sent you over there to become a good doctor. So just concentrate on your career. Once you complete, and if you're becoming a doctor and a licensed doctor when you're back in India, then you can just start with your career, as well as you can just start a consultancy, so that you don't have an issue there. But being a student, don't do this particular mistakes and spoil your career.
So many students and parents, they feel the clinical exposure abroad is not as strong as in India. So especially since some countries do not provide natural coverage for practice, do students still get strong medical knowledge and practical exposure?
See, as I said you before, Indian like medical system or clinical exposure is the best clinical exposure in the world. But students travel abroad, as I said, due to multiple options,
Many
many
reasons, yeah.
cases. Okay, so when you choosing an university here to like countries like Georgia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, they don't provide natural cadavers to practice. And if you're not getting natural cadavers, so I think you don't get good clinical exposure. But still, many universities in Russia and Nepal and many countries, they do provide the cadavers to practice. And students with that, they need to cross check how many type hospitals and university has. So if he is getting very good clinical exposure, then he can just become an best doctor, as I said. So what I suggest students, cross check the universities. And if you're extending your budget, okay, like 3 to 5 lakhs for total package for the 6 years, I think you get one of the best universities which gives very good clinical exposure, as well as theoretical knowledge.
Okay. How do students learn about the diseases, symptoms, and the case patterns that are commonly reported in India?
See what happens right now globally. Most of the universities globally follow the same syllabus. So almost 95 to 98% of the syllabus will be same. But when it comes to clinical exposure, as you said, like cold countries like Russia, Georgia, and some European countries, they doesn't. You cannot find few diseases as you find in India. It may be malaria, as you said, it's in tropical this thing, and many diseases you can't find over there. So that is the reason our NMC has strictly given the guidelines. The students who are studying in these particular countries, they shouldn't must come back to India and give one more year clinical
Internship.
internship, so that they can get exposure to this particular diseases.
Okay. So in your view, does foreign medical education make students academically strong or clinically strong or both?
Yeah, both. Most of the universities provided very good clinical exposure, as well as they have very good academic I mean exposure. I think most of the universities provide both.
So does when you are counseling students, do you even explain about the hospital tie-ups that these universities have for their clinical rotations?
Yeah, of course. We always, when you're guiding one university, and when you're doing the counseling time, we always guide from end to end about the universities. So it may be when it comes to recognitions, when it comes to how exactly the university is doing, and what is the FMG passing ratio, and how many hospitals it has tie up, and the clinical exposure, everything end to end. And see, whichever the university we suggest, we travel to the university. It's not that I'm googling the things. I do travel to the university, and Dr. Bhageshri Madam also travels with us. So, okay, we travel to the university, cross check regarding the university recognitions, and we speak to the deans. And finally, if everything is okay, and we speak to the alumni of the university, then if everything is okay, then only we suggest the students.
Does these students get Indian kind of food, or how is the hostel facility and everything in these countries?
See, normally, as you know, like hostel facilities which will be in separate area. See, what happens, our Indian mindset, most of the parents, they was, so why the hostel is far away? It's not in a single compound.
Correct.
As you see, in India, you can find in a single compound hostels,
Absolutely.
universities, everything. But as you know, in abroad, whichever the part of the abroad you go, you can't find in a single compound. So that will
Absolutely
be
true.
different. They need to use their public transport to travel from the university to the hostel. If it is walkable, they can just walk from the university to hostel. And these hostels, normally we suggest the university which is giving separate hostel for the Indian students,
Separate. Then
separate
no
hostel.
mixing with
There won't
international.
be any international students. And we suggest the students with an Indian mess facility.
Okay.
And what happens is, when it comes to Indian mess facility, as you know, parents will be questioning why they are not getting three times of food. As you know, in abroad, most of the universities, they provide only two times of the food. It may be breakfast or dinner, or lunch and dinner. And we suggest with the universities where hostels have very good hygiene, and with two to three sharings normally. And it's a good high secure universities and hostels we do provide.
So when they don't get one meal, so are they allowed to cook on their own?
Yeah, each and every hostels, they'll be having every floor kitchen facilities will be there.
Common
Student
kitchens.
common kitchens will be there, so students can go themselves, do the self cooking. See, what happens is, students, whatever the food you get over there, it won't be spicy. As you
Correct.
know,
Taking it
people in abroad, they don't eat spicy food, and
correct.
so they can use their masala items. We suggest the parents to go carry all the masala items from the from India, and they can go ahead with then self cooking.
Correct. So many parents fear that their child completes MBBS abroad, so the degree may not be qualified or valid in India. So how true is this concern?
See, what happens is, as I said, choosing consultants is very important. And like universities in Philippines has banned in India. As you know, if the students from 2022, June 18th, which are the students who have completed their degree in the Philippines are not valid. More than 10,000 plus students
Hmm.
who have studied in Philippines are not allowed to write FMG examinations.
It is like almost what 20% of the student number
Yes. See, what happens is, this is what the mistakes parents and
consultants.
students do by trusting in consultancy, fake consultancies. And with these fake promises, once see his career is gone, total his money is
Money
gone.
is gone.
And apart from working in Philippines, he won't be eligible to work in any other country. So his career is somewhat stuck in some particular location. And what happens is, see, like when it comes to Philippines, right? I do tell you why NMC is very strict on it. See, in Philippines, MBBS course, it is called as a BS course, Bachelor of Science, which is equivalent to 12th in India. And MS course, Master of Science, and lacks its core subjects, syllabus in physiology, microbiology, and many other subjects. So, totally, NMC has banned Philippines. So, I suggest the students cross check before selecting a university or a country for a good career.
So, okay, how to choose a right counselor for this particular MBBS?
See, what happens is, when you're visiting, what happens, I suggest to students and parents, once you visit a consultancy, whatever he says, don't believe. Come back to your home, do the homework, whatever he has said is correct or not, cross check on the Google, then go to another consult. At least cross check with two to three consultancies. Then, whichever the consultancies is not charging your, see, what happens is, there are a lot of hidden charges over there. So, hidden charges and hidden secrets over there. So, once the students cross check everything, and whichever the consultancy he feels better, better go ahead with that particular consultancy.
So many students, so in India to study MBBS, we have to write NEET exam. So in abroad, there is no condition. So what about the students who go abroad without writing NEET exam?
See, I suggest the students never ever go abroad without NEET. So if you're going abroad without NEET, you won't be eligible to come back to India and give next examination or FMGE examinations. uh, if you're planning to go ahead with abroad, like if you want to go ahead with the USMLE, FLAB, and to become a globalized doctor, then no need of NEET. So a lot of students travel, some like it may be Georgia, like it may be Russia. Once they go, they want to settle in the same country. So at that time, you can just plan and go. If you want to come back to India and practice, you can never ever go without NEET eligibility marks.
So what about the Central American universities that is promoted like very crazy in South India, Texas, Texila American
See,
University?
what happens is central. What of the most of the students they'll be focusing. I need to get settled in USA. So there are a lot of parents and students mindset will be like that. What I'll tell you why they are so much eager to get settled in USA. So what happens? There is an USMLE examinations. So from the third year of your MBBS, you can just start giving the examination. Two stage of examinations will be through online based examination, and third stage you need to go to USA and you need to complete your USMLE. If you're clearing your USMLE, your total MS or MD PG course will be free of cost for the government.
Oh,
And apart from that, every year you get almost 40 lakhs to 80 lakhs stipends while studying.
it's very good, no?
Once you complete your MS or MD, and if you're getting your license, you'll be globalized doctor. The minimum package starts from 1.5 CR. And if you're experienced doctor, then your package may go up to 2.5 CR. And if we have seen in many news channels and all, if any politicians or many actors, if they're admitted in hospitals, we have seen doctors from USA coming back to India, getting treatment, then going back to like Singapore, or taking back to USA. See, US surgeons are the one of the best surgeons right now, as we know. So that is the reason most of the people they try to go and settled in USA and to get very good packages for there.
Okay. So can you explain how important is NMC guidelines?
See, NMC guidelines, see, actually, it is very important for an Indian students when you're choosing abroad. What happens is NMC guidelines simply says that the what are the course you're doing. It should be 54 months plus 1 year internship. If the university is not following it, then your degree is not valid. And total 6 years of your course should be in English medium. And they should not be transfer of university. A lot of students, what they do, they choose some wrong universities. After 1 or 2 years, they want to shift to the best university. If in case if they're changing the university, taking transfer of university, then your degree is not valid. And these are few NMC guidelines are there. So it's better to know about the NMC guidelines. If you're not following your NMC guidelines, you can't come back to Indian practice.
Okay. So what are the most common mistakes that students make in respect to NMC guidelines?
See, the common mistake is, as I said, they blindly trust the consultancies and they don't cross check the NMC guidelines, and universities too. Okay, so if you're cross checking the NMC guidelines, then there won't be any mistake from your side.
So is most of the NMC guidelines are clearly understandable while reading the website?
It's see what happens is when you open an NMC this thing you can't understand the things. You should know from an expert, or else a few points you can just know. And if you Google it, and few main points you'll be getting, there are almost on 5 to 6 points of NMC guidelines. If you follow, if a university is following that, that's more than enough.
Okay. Do you share this NMC guidelines with the students?
So each and every student we guide and suggest that this is the NMC guidelines. See, before you choose MBBS or broad, first know about the guidelines.
Correct.
So then you can just choose a university. Choosing the university is secondary. First, you need to know the NMC guidelines, and we educate parents too. Because what
Okay.
happens is, if you're not educating the parents, what happens? They go to some other consultancies, then they brainwash the parents, and they say that it's very low fees. Like within 12 lakhs or 13 lakhs, you can just complete your MBBS degree. They say, and parents agree and they take the admissions. Then finally, the student's career is gone. So we educate the parents on NMC guidelines.
So generally, we hear that FMGE exam is very difficult. Why is that so?
Yeah, see, what happens is every competitive examinations in India is difficult.
Yeah, true.
NEET is also difficult. If you go with IIT, whatever the JEE means, JEE Advanced, all the competitive examinations are difficult. Not only FMG
FMGE.
examinations. See, what happens is it depends on the students to when it comes to NEET examination, 25 lakhs plus students are writing. Only 2 lakh students will be getting eligible marks. In the same way, in FMG, right, it depends on university you choose. If the student, see, 6 years he'll be studying the same course, and if he's unable to score the 50%,
Then
so
what is the use
what
of
kind of
studying?
doctor he can become? So
Correct,
that is very
absolutely true.
important. That is the reason NMC has bought this FMG examinations. And most of the few universities in Russia, they are getting 78, 80% of their results in the first attempt. And
Oh,
few universities,
super.
50 to 60% they're getting.
More
See,
than enough.
that's more than enough. See, what happens, parents, when you join your kid for the 11th or 12th or the NEET courses,
Of course, sir.
you cross check what is the percentage that school college is scoring, and how many students are passed out, how many students have got the government seats over there. In the same way, when you're choosing MBBS abroad, cross check how many students are getting passed out, what is the FMG passing ratio, and how is the clinical exposure for our kids. So based on that, you can choose the university. Then your kid will be safe over there.
Yeah, but in India they spend lakhs on their tuitions, but they don't spend proper time on choosing right things for their kids.
Yes, yes.
So there is we can't help them. So if any student who is unable to clear FMG exam, so what is the next plan for them?
See, NMC has given a 10 years of time period to get a license from the day of admission of your MBBS. So in 5 to 6 years, he'll be completing his MBBS. Then later on, he has 4 years of your time. NMC gives multiple
Attempts.
attempts. It's not that one or two attempts. Okay. If the students, I suggest students always clear your FMJ within one or two attempts, so that that will be very easy for your further process. And he has multiple options to clear his FMJ
Is
examinations.
it necessary to give so many attempts?
See what happens. As I said, it depends on the students too. Most of the like we have thousands of students every year clearing the FMG exams in the first attempt, and in the same number we have many students who are clearing second or third attempt. So it depends on the students what the efforts to
It is like saying like any graduate who is not able to get one interview clear, so he has to give some multiple
multiple
interviews.
entries.
Okay. Can students prepare for this FMG exam while they are pursuing their medical MBBS in that 6 years duration?
Yes. Few universities, it may be in Russia, Georgia, maximum in Russia, we have find many universities. They bring the doctors, top doctors from India to the university to just give them FMG coaching. From the
Okay.
first year, the universities provide, and lot of students I've seen. See, the interested students, they go, they attend the classes, and most of the students they do attend, they don't attend. See, I suggest a student from the first year they need to prepare. See,
Yeah.
your academics are good enough, you're doing in your good in your academics, and even your clinical exposure is going good. So with that, please be prepared for FMG examination from the day one, so that that will be very easy for you to clear your FMG. So when you're back to India.
So as major confusion of for the students who are studying MBBS abroad. So about this internship. So many students study for 6 years, including internship abroad, but then again they need to fill one more year in India.
Yeah.
So what is the reason? Why does this happen?
So as I said you before, when it comes to most of the diseases, what you find in like India, right? You can't find in cold countries.
Yeah,
Like it may be malaria. I
even
think there is
fever,
no mosquitoes in
mosquitoes.
cold countries.
True, true,
But when
true.
it comes to India, it will there. So student theoretically they'll be having the knowledge, but clinically they won't be having knowledge. So this is the reason NMC has got a strict rule that you shouldn't must complete your 1 year extra internship in India. See, when you complete your MBBS in Bangladesh and Nepal, there is no need to do 1 year extra internship,
Okay.
because we have the same climate,
Same climate,
almost
yes.
same diseases.
So is it good to go to Bangladesh for medicine?
Yeah, most of the students, even today, they do travel to Bangladesh. I think most of the students, and they have very good colleges in Bangladesh. And even now, the students are traveling to Bangladesh. They have very good clinical exposure, as in India. You can just find the same diseases, and you have very good clinical exposures in Bangladesh.
I think so many countries are living with our money. How can students plan early to avoid delays in registration, internship, or a career start?
See, what happens is most of the students, when they are in the last academic year, they just this last year they'll be enjoying, they'll be peacefully roaming around. I suggest the students, So make sure, see, whatever the required, go to the NMC website, cross check the checklist, what are the documents required for your fill your FMG forms and all applications. Get ready with all the documents. See, if you're missing one chance, another 6 more months you'll be back, because 6 months once you'll be getting your FMG examinations. I suggest students to keep all the documents ready once you complete your course.
So, what is the cost, like tuition fees? So, generally it incur. Like, for example, what is the total tuition fees if I'm studying in Russia or if I'm studying in Georgia? What is the minimum and maximum range?
See, when it comes to Russia, we can find only government universities. There is no private universities in Russia. Each and every state has one university. So the university will be named in the that particular state name. What happens is here fee structures are very less. I said you like 70% of the students from India they do travel Russia. As you know, Russia as all the government universities, the fee structures are very less. It starts from 1.2 to 1.3 lakhs per semester, and it goes to up to 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs. Okay, so it depends. And when it comes to Georgia, if a budget, if a total budget is above 35 to 40 lakhs, select Georgia. And if your budget is around 20 to 35 lakhs, you can just go ahead with the Russia.
So, can students pay the fees in installments or they have to pay one shot for 1 year?
Every semester basis they can pay.
Semester
And
based.
few universities suggest them to like they suggest the students they need to pay yearly basis. And most of the universities in Russia they accept semester basis.
So, so many students they compare after landing into their university. They compare between, for example, we both have traveled. So one student cost is X for the whole admission process. Another student's cost is Y. So why there is a difference when the whole tuition fees and everything is same?
See, even here, I said you like choosing consultants is very important. And here, what happens? Consultancies, they have you unexpected hidden charges will be there. Students and parents won't be knowing until they reach the university and they compare with other students. Like we can find like almost 3 to 4 lakhs difference. Okay, I suggest the students and parents. Whatever the documentation and documentation fees you can just pay in India, and maximum fees, whatever the fees you need to pay to the university, when it comes to other countries, make sure do the remittance. You'll be getting your SWIFT number. You'll be having a proper documentation over there.
Correct.
So when it comes to Russia, you can't do remittance. So at that time, you can carry the dollars and pay at the university. And while paying at the university, take an acknowledgement. It's very important. So what happens is, if most of the consultancies they take
They
5
collect the
lakhs,
money.
8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs in India itself, and what happens, they won't be paying back in universities. And at that time, lot of universities has restricted the students because not paying of fees,
Tuition fees.
tuition fees. I suggest students and parents always pay tuition fees or what are the university fees directly to the universities, not to the consultancies.
What are the type of hidden charges that consultancies charge?
See, hidden charges in the sense, see, well, what happens, consultancies, university fees will be in website, it may be 5 to 6 lakhs actually, it may be 5,000 or $6,000 over there. And they keep that, see, they tell that, say, this apart from this total package for first year, they do tell 10 lakhs package, 12 lakhs package. And our parents in India, they compare the package in India and they pay, it will be easy for them to pay 10 lakhs. But it will be 7 lakhs or 8 lakhs or 6 lakhs, but they compare with Indian fee structure and they do pay 10 lakhs to 12 lakhs. So this is what it depends on the mindset how exactly consultancy will be playing with the parents.
So in this case, what kind of, for example, one is tuition fees, one is hostel, one is your fees. So these three are very transparent. What are the other charges or other expenses that a student incur while traveling first time?
See, apart from that, only the flight charges will be there. And
Okay.
then they need to their clothings, the new clothings and all they need to take. And apart from that, there won't be any other charges.
So I have seen so many people they charge like one time charge or administrative fees and something like that.
Yes, most of the universities in Russia and Georgia, they do charge one-time administrative charges.
Mhm.
So this one-time administrative charges includes it, maybe it starts from $1,000 to $2,000, and this you need to pay only one time. So it will be mentioned in the university website. You can just go and cross-check. So this will be for your 6 months of your exam fees. Sorry, 6 years of your exam fees, 6 years of your library charges, your police registration verification. For the total 6 years, one time they do take.
So if a student fell sick or some kind of a medical emergency. So how the university or international office will taken care of them?
Very good question. What happens to the parents worry about the same thing. Uh, we make sure once the students is landed, once his medical checkup is done, immediately his medical insurance will be ready. And in case, see, recently there was an issue in some university in Russia. Students were fallen sick due to some food issues. So they were in food infection. Immediately students were shifted to the hospitals. So once they reached the hospital, immediately the government of Russia, the total local bodies came back to hostel, they cross-checked with all the student, how is the food? So what is the quality of the food? Hygiene is maintained or not? So is there any issues in the hostels? So apart from the like university or our coordinators over there, this particular country government also take care of the students a lot.
Okay. So is there anything that they pay as an insurance
Yeah, it will be depends like $100 to $150 per year.
per year? So all these expenses will be taken care with that insurance.
Yes, yes, yes.
So apart from these expenses, is there any additional expenses that student will incur?
See, monthly basis minimum depends on the country to country. When it comes to Russia, it may start from 5,000 to 15,000 per month. So depends on the students' way of living over there,
Lifestyle. Yeah.
lifestyle. And when it comes to Georgia, it may start from 10,000 to 25,000. So it differs. I think apart from that, every year the other expenses are like visa extension, medical checkups, and medical insurance. And I think apart from that, there won't be any other charges.
So when they arrived into universities, irrespective of the country, they do their local registrations and everything. So every year, do they need to renew all these things?
See, yeah, every year they need to renew.
Okay.
And what happens, there is an one more options in Russia, and most of the states and the universities are permitting students when they're back to India in the first year holidays, they can take a police clearance certificate, PCC certificate will be given. So with that, they have some formalities. They can go back to Russia, and while submitting this visa extension, if they submit this PCC, this visa can be extension for the 5 years. 5 years visa can be given with a PCC certificate.
So this PCC is given from India or
India,
Russia?
from
India.
India. They need to take back from India.
Okay. Once first come, okay, travel first,
First year,
come
they'll
back
be
to
giving only
India,
1 year
correct.
visa extension.
Then
From the
PCC
second year, you can take the PCC and get your extension for up to 5 years.
is similar in Georgia or Central Asian countries.
So Georgia right now they are not giving for 5 years. Every yearly they need to renew. But in Russia, few states have these options.
But in recently Georgia also they are against Indians and they're sending their visas have been issues. They're means they're irritating in the immigration and all. So many news has come.
See, this particular issues has happened only with the travelers.
Okay. Not for
But
education.
not for education. See, education, they have proper documentation, they have the admission letter, they have the tuition fees. So if they have all the documentation, there won't be any issues. And the issues faced only within
Tourist.
tourist.
So out of 100%, 70% of the students are going to Russia. So how is the quality of education?
See, you get world class education over there. And when it comes to India, you can find in each and every medical college, you get almost 100 to 150 plus students in one particular classroom. But when it comes to Russia, there is a student and teacher ratio of 15 is to 1. So maximum 20 is to 1. So they give importance for each and every students. So when it comes to theoretical knowledge, they give one of the best theoretical knowledge. And most of the universities, as I said, they give very good clinical exposure. And here, right, you need to there is a very strict rule in all the universities in Russia, whichever the universities you go. See, when it comes to universities, 100% attendance is mandatory. What happens is when it comes to Georgia and other universities and countries, 70 to 80% of the attendance is mandatory. But when it comes to Russia, 100% attendance is mandatory. In case if the students are missing the classes, and there'll be very serious notice will be given to the students. And after the three notice, if the students are doing the same mistakes, you'll be restricted from the universities. And if you are playful and if you are not serious on your career, better don't choose Russia. Russian universities are very strict. All the public universities are very strict. And make sure give good concentration on whatever the rules and regulations given by the university.
Okay. So we spoke about admissions, we spoke about documents, scams, myths, and all those things. So how is a student life for a period of 6 years? Social life. How are they going to interact with the locals? Are they going to get, are these students are learning language or those kind of a thing? Can you explain outside the campus life?
See, I do tell my own students' experience was studying MBBS in Russia. What happens? Most of the universities we suggest students where maximum Indian community is there, and you have almost 400 to 500% Indian students studying, and that too they will be more localites, and they do all sorts of Indian festivals. And at least even we may miss few festivals, and our students and our Indian community doesn't miss any festivals. See what happens. This particular thing, students will won't feel homesickness over there. One thing. Second thing is, as I said about the language barrier. When it comes to language barrier, from the first year, students should must and learn that particular language. What happens is when it comes to medical field. From the second or third year, you'll be into the clinical exposure. At that time, you'll be meeting a lot of local patients over there. You can't speak in English, so maximum local patients will be speaking their own languages, like local languages. Universities make sure that the students will be learning the local languages. And what happens, see, when it comes to India too, if an Karnataka student is taking MBBS admission in Maharashtra, you need to learn Marathi. If a Marathi student is taking admission in Tamil Nadu, you need to learn Tamil. So this is what in a worldwide. So when you traveling to other countries, whichever the country you do travel, that particular local language is mandatory.
Because you're treating the patients.
Yes.
Every patient don't know the English or a major
Yes.
language. So, so when you counsel students or when you visit them when they are abroad, so what is that you say? How how you prepare them as a mentally or a socially before they travel or when they traveled abroad?
So the main back support for the student should be given in the first year. The first year is very important for the students because they'll be into new culture, new country, new climate. And in the first year, if you're giving very good support to the students and mentally, if you're making them strong, surely from the second year, they'll get to used to it. At least a student requires 3 months to 6 months to get settled in a new country with a new culture. So first year is very important for the student. From the second year, they know what to do, and they will
Correct.
be guiding us what exactly we can do in this particular
Correct.
country. And the first year is very important, and all the consultancies, it's very important that first year we need to give very good importance to the students.
So generally in any students who travel abroad, they always ask for part-time jobs. Or is there any scholarships? So in the countries of USSR part or a Central Asian countries, do they allow students to work part-time?
See, what happens is when it comes to MBBS, as I said, like MBBS, none of the universities are allowing because they have a huge, academics to complete. So none of the MBBS universities allow them for the part time. When it comes to next scholarship, and as you know, all the abroad countries, they do give 100% scholarship if you're studying in their own language, like local language. If you're studying in German language, it's totally free. And if you're in even in Russia, there are universities who teach you in Russian language. If you're studying in Russian language, total tuition fees is free.
So the language is a key to save a lot of
Yes,
money.
yes.
Okay. So in, for example, while transferring money from India to, like parents are transferring money to their kids. So Russia is out of the central world banking system. So how do the students and parents transact?
See, this is an actually the biggest challenge students and parents face. As you know, like Visa, Mastercards are totally banned over there. All the American like cards and
Systems.
system has been totally banned, and we can't do remittance too. And recently, Russian government bank, Siber Bank, has tied with Reserve Bank of India, and that is the only bank they are allowing right now for the remittance. And the students who are living in Russia, they can just open a bank account in Cyberbank, and the parents can do the remittance, and they can use the forex team also to get the remittance. And right now, what exactly our students are doing, they do Google Pay to the senior student, will exchange with some other labors, and they're exchanging and they're giving. In the same way, all the students in Russia following.
So is there any access for UPI in?
No, 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 there is no any access for the UPI.
Okay. So I think government should look into that. That's easy. So in this kind of a funds transfer by using others and all, there won't be any kind of a cyber threat to track the things and all because Russia is a master in cyber attacks.
See, right now, even many students have faced these issues. and most of the bank accounts has been freezed because unauthorized
Transaction.
transactions, and they track each and every person's transaction, their call records, everything they'll be observing. And recently there was an issue in some university that I'll tell you an example how exactly the Russian government will be observing each and every person. Some student from Uzbekistan and Pakistan in some other hostels, they were fighting for something. They used some words like bomb, this, and all. Within fraction of minutes, they were a group of military came over there, directly went, tracked him, put him into jail for 1 to 2 weeks of custody. Then they came to know nothing problem. Then they came back and they left him. See, what happens is this security we can find in Russia.
So, what is the kind of a salary that a student can get post completion of a MBBS when they land in India?
See, in India, being a junior doctor, once he completes, being an intern, he may get around 15 to 20,000 being an intern. And if he's a junior doctor, it differ from 30 to 50,000. And if he's a normal doctor, it may be around 50 to 1 lakh. And if he's highly professional, then it goes up to 1 lakh rupees. When it comes to other countries, like in Russia, the minimum salary starts from 1.5 lakhs, it goes up to 2.5 lakhs.
But they need to learn local language.
Local, because they'll be almost 6 years they'll be studying there.
Correct.
I think that will be easy for them to
In
learn that
case
language.
if they're not coming to India, so where all they can go?
See, as I said, two options there. One, whichever the country there, because what happens, most of the students for 6 years they'll be in the same country, and they'll be very much happy to live over there. Uh, in that particular country, it may be Russia, Georgia, Uzbekistan, wherever they're studying there, they have an opportunity. And apart from that, they have option to become a globalized doctor. In case if the students are planning to settle in Dubai, so there is one license examinations in Dubai. They can just go complete the license examinations, and they will be licensed to practice over there. In case if they want to go with higher education with a PG, then I suggest students, as I said, go with USA, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and complete the entrance examination of that particular country, and complete your PG course and get an globalized doctor
What is the
license.
salary that they can expect when they go abroad
See, when they go abroad, see, when you become a globalized doctor, minimum package starts from 80 lakhs to 1 year
per year?
per annum. Okay, then when it comes to some countries, provide around 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, up to 5 lakhs. And if you're surgeon, and if you're very good, if you're a professional, and if you're, I mean, a very good experienced surgeons and doctors, you get almost 1 year plus package.
So, have you ever counseled us NRI students to go abroad for their medicine, like from Middle East to Russia, or Middle East to Georgia, or Middle East to Europe, or Middle East to Malaysia, kind of a thing?
See, what happens here, as which are the students we have gone through, and till date, only one or two students from Africa we had a chance to counsel the students, and a few students from like Afghan, and even from Pakistan. I had got an inquiry to suggest for Russia, and most of the students, right, almost 80% of the students in these particular countries are from India, and 10 to 20% will be from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and some other country. And I have never seen most of the students from Middle East traveling for MBBS abroad.
What are the long-term opportunities for a students who completes MBBS abroad?
See, long-term opportunities, as I said, when he's becoming a globalized doctor, I mean, his career can be settled in abroad. See, most of the European countries are paying very good salaries to the students, and that is the reason most of the students choose Georgia, because see, in when it comes to, as I said, in Russia, FMG classes will be given from Indian professors. In the same way, when you go with the Georgia, USMLE in-house coaching will be given.
Okay.
So, university from the first year, USMLE coaching will be given to the students. I think that will be helpful for the students to clear their USMLE and FLAP. And most of the students dream to become a doctor in
US,
Europe or USA. I think you can just go with Georgia,
Georgia.
and you get very good salaries, and your life is settled. So that is the reason students struggle so much to clear their USMLE and FLAP.
So, how big is the global shortage of doctors, and how serious is the same shortage in India?
Globally, right now, as an today, we can find almost 10 million plus shortage of doctor globally. And when it comes to India, we have almost 6 lakhs and 6.5 lakhs shortage of doctor. And this is a huge opportunity for the students. What I suggest, even the students who are completing their MBBS or MS or MD in India, so globally they have very good options. They can just explore globally and become a globalized doctor. And when it comes to India, you can see almost 70 to 80% of the doctors they're settled in urban area, and rural area we
We
won't
have
find
less doctors.
best doctors. So what happens is lack of infrastructure, and even they spent so much money, time, and all. So even they want a better life. So that is the reason maximum doctors we can find in urban area. I think government should look into it to build the good infrastructure in rural area, and even the peoples and the public in rural area they need to get a good opportunity to get good treatments.
So when most of the doctors, when they further education, they spend so much of money, and as you said, they are all moving to urbanized cities. So when non-urbanized cities like tier 2, tier 3 cities, for them, the doctors who pursue their medicine abroad might be a good option.
Yeah. What happens is you have multiple options. It depends on you how exactly you search the your options. In as I said, in non-urban areas, there's the huge options because you can open your clinic, you have open your hospitals. If not, you're in very big hospitals where you can just work, and there is multiple options for the doctors in rural area, non-urban areas.
So this also makes a kind of a relevant option today to go abroad and pursue their education also,
Yes.
because cost is less. So at least they can come back and they serve, as you give an example of Gulbarga, some village, they
Yes.
got scammed and all.
Yes.
So from your institution side, do you provide any kind of scholarships?
Yeah, every year we conduct an exam called Vaida Shikshana Scholarships Examinations. And for a year, every year, almost 20 lakhs plus like rupees will be providing the scholarship. It may be first prize, it may be 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 1 lakh 50,000. So, whichever the student, what happens is students already who have scored 98, 99%, and they got very less marks in their
NEET
NEET
score.
score. So what happens? There'll be mindset of the student. I have scored very good and I'm capable, but still I am not scored good in NEET. So that particular mentality students will be having. So what exactly our organization has done? We are giving one online based examination, that's totally NEET based examinations, and which are the top students we take over there, and 50% we take from the physics, chemistry, biology score, and both we do the average, and which are the top students we are getting, right? In that we are giving the scholarship every year before the departure of our students. We provide these scholarships to the students so that they can utilize the scholarships amount for their academic fees payment.
Okay. So what are the top 5 things every parent should check before sending their child to study abroad for MBBS?
Uh, the main points parents should cross check is first thing regarding the university recognitions are very important. Parents should cross check is the university is recognized nationally as internationally, and second, the university is following NMC guidelines or not. That is very important. If these 2 points are not followed, then you totally degree is wasted. The third thing is we should choosing in counselor is very important. If the counselor, if he or she is guiding in a wrong way, I think that total your career is lost over there. So choosing the counselor is very important. The next is the university. Being a doctor, they're going to complete their medical journey and they complete their MBBS. So what happens is you should have very good clinical exposure and make sure this universities has very good clinical exposure. If the university is providing the cadavers to practice, and how many hospitals, type of hospital does this university has. So this is the very important point. And final point is what is the FMG passing ratio?
Correct.
If the university, see what happens is if you're going some university, not in single batch is passed up, the fee structure is less. If you're compromising over there, then you don't know after 6 years what happens to your
Life.
life. So better choose an university which has experience, which has multiple batches as passed out and very good FMG passing ratio. And these are
Correct.
the basic things the parents should cross check before choosing an university.
So, so what are the top mistakes students must avoid?
The main thing is students should do their basic research before choosing any university. Don't trust influences. And once you travel back to universities, don't be dependent on the seniors. And once you become the senior, don't act and don't become in consultancies. Just concentrate on your career, complete your career. That is very important for you.
So for a parent who is watching this conversation today, so what is your final advice? before they make a decision?
I suggest the parents before deciding some university, contact 2 to 3 counselors and make sure compare between the universities, and whatever the counselor says it's not true. You do your self research about the universities and what are the recognitions, and it may be regarding university, how many pass out FMG passing ratio. You need to do your self research and
Tuition fees as they
tuition
budget.
fees. That's very important. And next point is, most of the parents, what happens when it comes to the tuition fees, a lot of consultants give different fee structures, and main thing here, students and parents fall in big trap over here. And when it comes to dollar rates, right now, as we know, the dollar rate is 92 to 94 rupees. And what exactly this consultants, they tell 75 rupees per dollar, and they'll be, while paying the university fees, see, being in middle class people, adjusting 2 to 3 lakhs at a time, it will be very difficult. Make sure calculate all this particular point and cross check all this particular point before choosing in consultancies. And main thing is, parents, uh, after choosing in consultancies, make sure whatever the tuition fees is paid to university directly. If not, take the dollars directly, go to the university and pay over there. And whatever the documentation fees or the service charges, then that you can just pay in India or consultant. Remaining whatever the fees, you can directly pay to the university, so that you will be avoiding the scams.
For students who are confused between India and abroad, what is the right way to decide?
Simple thing. See, what happens is, when it comes to a lot of students will be thinking, is it India or abroad? And most of the parents and most of the local people will be telling, like, abroad education is not good. I do suggest, no, you're just come out of that particular mindset. Cross check with the university. There are multiple universities which are giving the very good, I mean, education. And see, in case if you're not getting government seats in India, I think it's waste of spending 1 crore, 2 crore rupees in India. Better choose government universities in abroad. So 20 to 30 lakhs, you can just complete your total MBBS course.
Thank you, Hari sir, for sharing a complete insight about how to choose universities, how to choose countries based on NMC guidelines and everything. So, thank you for sharing all this information.
Thank you, sir. It was a great time having a great discussion with you. And thanks for your time, and thanks for the audience.
For thousands of students and parents who are watching this episode, this is not just an education decision, it's a life decision. Your insights about countries, university selection, NMC guidelines, fees, safety, and career pathways will surely help the students and parents to make a confident decision about choosing MBBS careers abroad.